Okay, now what we want to do once more is perform a dehydration synthesis, incorrectly spelled. Let's change that. Synthesis. Let's put an N in here. Uh-oh, that's not an M, but it kind of looks like one. So a dehydration synthesis reaction of a phospholipid. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do are to figure out what our beginning molecules or our monomers are for the, in order for us to perform this reaction, we must have a glycerol. Wow. Having troubles. And then we need 2 fatty acids. Wow. And a phosphate group. I'm just going to put PO4 because I'm having issues, okay? Now, with the writing. So I may not do much writing on here just because this mouse isn't moving very well. But these are the building blocks. We have to have a 3-carbon alcohol called glycerol, 2 fatty acids. Remember, fatty acid is constructed of a long hydrocarbon chain and this carboxyl group, which makes it acidic, and then a phosphate group. Okay, so a glycerol remember it's this 3-carbon alcohol, and remember what did we say makes alcohols, which functional group that we're going to eventually have to stick on here. I see what the problem is. I'm using the mouse. How about let's use the pen? Ooh. There we go. So, right, the functional group is a hydroxyl group. So here are our hydroxyl groups. Now we need the 2 fatty acids. So our 2 fatty acids, remember the carboxyl group is what makes it acidic. So here's my carboxyl group. We follow that by a chain of saturated or unsaturated fatty acids. And let's go with unsaturated because of how fluid the molecule is. So that's I want to put in an H there, no H is there, and an H here. And then we want to cover this last one in order to satisfy all of those bonds. Okay, the next one, so we got a C double bonded O, this OH, so here's our next fatty acid. And again, remember, as long as you've got an even number of carbons, you can draw this any kind of way you like. So that's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Throwing a double bond there, and throwing a double bond there, so that means we gotta have a hydrogen, 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 and another hydrogen. So that's 2 of our fatty acids. And then we need a phosphate group. So remember, we have a P double bonded to an O, an OH, an OH hydroxyl group, and then this final hydroxyl group. Remember, we're performing 3 dehydration synthesis reactions, so that means that we're going to take away a hydroxyl group and a hydrogen, a hydroxyl group, and a hydrogen, a hydroxyl group, and a hydrogen. And we're going to redraw the entire molecule on the opposite side. Let's just go ahead and we're going to draw it at the bottom. So we're going to say we're going to come around here and start. So this is a dehydration synthesis. Since I forgot about my pen, took it and then forgot, laid it down. All right, so remember, let's label this glycerol plus 2 fatty acids and a phosphate group okay, it's going to yield our phospholipid. So remember, we didn't do anything to this guy on this side, on the left side. But the only thing that we have left is this oxygen. So we're going to throw those in. And then we're going to say C double bonded O. I need an eraser. I got carried away here. Okay, there we go. So C double bonded O, another C double bond O, and then a P double bond to an O. And then this one's easy to finish out. We have a full OH and an OH. And up here we had 4 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 2 double bonds right here. So then that's going to give us a hydrogen, and a hydrogen, and another hydrogen. And then the next one we had 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1 and 2 double bond. So that gives us a hydrogen, a hydrogen, a hydrogen, and a hydrogen, and a hydrogen, and a hydrogen, 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 and hydrogen. So here we have created our phospholipid. Okay? We remove 3 waters, so we want to say plus 3 H2Os. Okay? So this is how you create a phospholipid. Don't forget, we will now need to label our bond. So we have our ester bond. So there's our ester bond. Remember, all lipid molecules have a ester bond. Hope that enables you to draw a phospholipid for your exam.